everybody, and welcome to Sanctuary Sundays. We are back. Have no fear, my illustrious co-host Tiffany will be back soon, and we will have some other surprise co-hosts coming up this year. And I'm Josh with Cotton Branch Farm Sanctuary, and we wanted to start off a series because so many people have been emailing or messaging and saying how they wish they lived closer and could join us on our monthly tours or a private tour. So we thought, what better way to help people see the sanctuary than to visit some of the herds. So we're going to spend each week, the next few weeks, visiting different herds and pastures on the property. So this week we have a very special herd to visit. This is our largest herd on the property right now, and we call them the Kentucky pigs. So if you don't know about that rescue, it was the largest pig rescue in the U.S. ever. There were 550 pigs in need of rescue in Kentucky. When we found out about this case, there were 458 on the property, and we only had about 2 to 3 weeks, or they would be euthanized if someone could not get them off the property. So my farm manager and I went up to assess the situation. It was so dire when we arrived that our 2-day trip turned into a week where we could set up shade shelters. We could make sure they had adequate bowls for water, that they had kiddie pools to stay cool because there really weren't wallows for them, that the males were separated from the females. That first week we were there, 60 piglets were born, and there was only about a 30% survival rate at the property. So the next week we went back and we brought back the 5 most pregnant who were about to give birth. We brought them back with us, and our first birth from that case was actually in the transport trailer in Tennessee at about 11 p.m. at night on the way back to Cotton Branch. And that was little Lily, and she had her babies in the trailer. You'll get to meet her soon. She is actually in another herd, as we have taken some of the Kentucky pigs in as permanent residents, and those are the ones with special needs who needed to stay rather than be adopted out. So our current large Kentucky herd, who you're going to meet today, we have around 50 pigs over there, and most of them are available for adoption. The remaining of the 550 who did not stay here as special needs residents have already been adopted out to individual homes across the nation and some to sanctuaries. So we are so happy that all of these guys and girls had just amazing homes provided for them, and we want you to meet the ones who are still here. So I'm going to show you a small clip of a little bit of the footage from when we arrived and some of the rescue footage of us bringing them here and getting them set up here that winter. And then we're going to meet some of the Kentucky herd. So come on and join me. So I am out here in the Kentucky herd I was talking about, and I am with Sylvan. He is one of the sweetest guys. So of course when they first arrived, we would come to the gate and everybody would just run. A lot of them were not socialized. So our piggy cuddling program really helped socialize a lot of them. And Sylvan really came around. So it's funny because behind us there's their feed area, and we shut them out every day, and then we clean the pallets and put their feed on it. And whenever I go in to run everybody out after breakfast, and there's usually stragglers, Sylvan is one of them. But if you try to push Sylvan to move on his booty, he thinks you want to pet him, and he won't go anywhere. So I have to shut the gate, start rinsing the pallets, and then he finally figures out what's happening. But Yes. Or I have to try to walk him out like a wheelbarrow. And you're a little big for walking that way, aren't you? Yes. But Sylvan's one of the residents over here who are adoptable too. So we have lots of the sweet Kentucky babies still left for adoption. But wanted everybody to meet Mr. Sylvan. And now we'll go meet some of his friends. And this is Lane. Also, of course, one of the Kentucky pigs. And he's super sweet too, gentle. He's a funny guy too. So if you're ever out here and petting anyone, he's going to find you and come up beside you and lay down for a belly rub too. Say yes, yes. Because he just loves his attention. And many of the Kentucky pigs are white, so you can see he is too. But in the summer, when he loses his hair, because everybody blows their coat in the summer, he's spotted. So he has black spots all over. So he's actually polka dotted, but his hair all grows in white. Right, buddy? So the Kentucky area, it actually spans from kind of where I'm standing a little past. You can see a lot of the guys like napping along the fence. And all the way down to the other end, if you can see that blue barn. So our Kentucky herd takes up this whole area. They're the largest herd since we have so many of them are adoptable. And I'll be talking about later some improvements we're going to be doing in this area. Right now they have lots of shade cells, wallows in the summer. They have their big barns, and they have some smaller barns for some of the ones who like to just kind of cozy up in groups of like 2 to 4. But most of them sleep in the larger barns together. And let's see who else is out and about. Sylvan's still out waiting for more attention. And then in the winter, we actually put their waters out in the sun so they don't freeze. And then in the summer, they're underneath the shade cells to stay cool. And then the other shade cells cover wallows. And in the summer too, another neat thing you can do with the barns is these windows I put in, which I had fun painting to look like windows. They actually can pop off and let the air flow in, so it helps keep it cooler in the summer. So in the winter, it helps hold the heat in, and we put the door flaps on. Well, hello. They heard me knocking. So one of the improvements we're going to be doing is actually running a fence from somewhere right in here straight across, and we'll be splitting this field in half. And the reason is, if you see this little cutie over there, the little black one, so like many of the Kentucky pigs, we have probably about 50, I'm thinking now, who we've identified with dwarfism. And so those are not adoptable, they stay with us. And we call them the littles. And right now we've separated some out into a smaller area. And what we realize is they really thrive when they're with the pigs more close to their size. They get enough food, they're not getting bullied by any of the bigger guys. So we're going to split it, create 2 big fields instead of one giant one. And all the bigger ones will be on one side, and all the littles will be over here on this side. Speaking of littles, there's another little one. Hi, baby. What? You getting ready for dinner? Yeah. You ready for dinner? Yes. This is Kevin, and Kevin is one of the unique ones with the curl tail. And as you can see, Kevin likes belly rubs, so if you're out here, Kevin's going to want a belly rub. And if you notice, Kevin's rather large, especially when you look at a lot of the other pigs from Kentucky. So one of the pigs, her name was Molly, and she found a great home with 2 of her babies she had just had when we started that rescue. And we're pretty sure Kevin is Molly's son from a previous pregnancy at some point before they came here, because he looks exactly like her, and she was a rather large girl too. So most likely a mix of potbelly with some other type of pig, maybe even a feral pig to give the long noses. But they were big uns, and Kevin's a big one too. And Kevin is actually one of our permanent residents. Are you coming back around for more attention, Lane? I told you he'd find you anywhere. So, but yeah, Kevin absolutely loves attention. He's one of our permanent residents. Kevin does need his monthly partner to sponsor him too. So if you're thinking about sponsoring anyone monthly, Kevin does need his sponsor. And the great thing is you can come meet him and give him belly rubs, which he would greatly appreciate. Thanks so much for joining us for this week's Sanctuary Sundays. It's starting to rain, got a little chilly, so we had to wrap up. But join us next week right here for another awesome special episode of Sanctuary Sundays. And we look forward to seeing you then. You can also find the shorter versions of these on our Facebook and Instagram. And you can find 10-minute versions, up to 10-minute versions on our TikTok. So be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're also on Twitter. We'll see the videos there, but you'll get lots of cool pictures and interesting things that happen throughout the week here at Cotton Branch. Thanks so much, and we will see you soon.
Take a ride on my big orange tractor.